Hey guys, so I'm out here in nature. As you can see, Colorado, it's freaking snowing. As a Texan, this is beautiful to me and unknown to me. But I gotta make a vlog video of Matrix Resurrections, which goddamn you guys for making me watch this. In fact, I had to go into town just so that it will download on the HBO Max app because I got no internet right now. And then hopefully I can upload this at some point back in town later. But Matrix 4 is essentially if you redid the Matrix, only did it worse in every way possible. Worse acting, worse action, worse story, and then did this whole cringy self-parody thing. And I understand what they were going for. They tried to do this whole, you know, sort of, we're all in our own matrices with our social media and our phones, and you know, how is it that Neo is still alive? And if you've seen the end of the original Matrix trilogy, they explain that. And I am okay with that explanation. One thing I will say in the movie's favor is it does sort of deepen the lore, at least between the humans and the machines. I don't want to spoil anything. I'll wait for the spoiler section on that. But everything else, it is a travesty what they've done to Keanu Reeves' character Neo. He is essentially sidelined and a bullet shield for most of the film, while the action, which is what Matrix was known for, this slow-mo, bullet time, amazing kung fu, is... I have no idea if they got the wrong cinematographer or choreographer or whatever, but it's not anywhere near as inspired as the original. Perhaps Lana needed her sibling in order to make this work, because it honestly feels like a bad B-movie version of the Matrix story that we know. And this isn't really, you know, the new characters. You've got this Morpheus-like character, and you've got Bugs, the blue-haired lady, and, you know, a few other red pillars is what they're called. But honestly, they're mostly fine, but majorly in the background. This is mainly a story about Neo and Trinity. Now, if you are a Trinity fan, you are going to love this film, because this film is all about Trinity and, you know, bringing her up to speed and sort of the relationship between Neo and Trinity, which is fine, because if you know the trilogy, that is essentially the love between these two is what Neo chooses in the end, and what's different with all the Matrix reboots that have happened. And it is sort of clever what they've done here in order to what this new Matrix is. It's clever. I'm doing my best not to do spoilers. However, the acting and the replacements, the essentially redoing the Matrix, because there's scenes straight out of the Matrix, in fact, playing on the screen. This whole idea of this Matrix video game, and they play the video game and they watch the video game, which is actually the first film playing, and they pretend that film is a video game. It's just so cringy. It's so dumb. I hate it. And so Neo has sort of created this modal, is what they call it, this sort of Matrix within a Matrix for him. And from this modal is born this story when these red pillars figure out what this is and discover this little looping Matrix, because the original Matrix is kind of playing itself out again. And the problem is that Morpheus, God, nobody can top Lawrence Fishburne, and as well as this new Morpheus does, it's just not enough. He does have a uniqueness to him because of the way his character is, and I don't want to say too much there, but it's not the Morpheus. It's an interesting performance, and he is one of the better parts of the film. But what ruins it for me is, you know, this Mr. Smith, Agent Smith, is in this film And nobody can touch Hugo Weaving. And this actor is, I guess he's probably doing the best with the material he's given, but I feel no threat from him. He apes lines and just rereads lines from the original film. It just does not work. There's so much self-referential humor with Warner Brothers here and sort of sequel baiting and stuff like that. Like, is say Matrix 4 necessary? Well, we're going to do it without you anyway, so we might as well do it. It's just, it's cringy. And unfortunately, the action is what I have a major problem with. When they first start shooting, you're like, okay, here we go. This is going to be awesome. But immediately, your sense of immersion is broken because, like, they are missing when they have a serious case of the stormtrooper, right? And the original Matrix was smart about it. You felt like they are dodging the bullets in unique ways. And yeah, there was a few shots where you're like, that should have connected. But you don't really realize it because it's so well filmed. In this, and I watched the first Matrix, and then I watched this. The gunfire and the gunplay, it's so ridiculous and extreme that it loses its sense of reality. And when you realize that nobody's going to die, there's no tension, and it loses a sense of danger and tension. The original Nebuchadnezzar, they lost operators and they lost red pillars. And here, there's none of that tension. And it just sucks. There is a unique thing between what this thing is and the future. I mean, they're definitely sequel baiting. They want so badly to try to do the second and third films. But the way this ends, I don't know. It's a travesty. It sucks. And I wish it was better. I really, really wanted to like it because I love the world of Matrix. I love Neo. I saw that film 7 times in the theater, and this just ain't it, man. In fact, I like the original Matrix films way better than this one. So I was thinking maybe this one will be not as good as the first. Nobody expects it to be, but better than the sequels. No, I actually like Matrix Reloaded and Resurrection, or what's the third one? Revelations. I liked it way better than this one. Despite all the, heavy dialogue in the second one, but amazing fights and excessive CGI in the second one. Yeah, it's a damn shame because although Keanu Reeves is putting in a good performance, there's just not much for him to do here. And the relationship between Trinity and Neo, it was fine in the original films, but to have a whole film around that and the idea of their love, it just doesn't work quite as well. But like I said, if you're a fan of Trinity, you're gonna fucking love this film. But I'm a fan of Neo, and I wanted to see a lot better kung fu. When you watch basically the subway scene to the end of the film in the first one, and then you watch some of this film, it's just a huge stark difference. And it's a shame because I wanted this film to do well. And just bad performances, bad acting, the whole Machiavellian scene is so bad. Like, I expected way more. These exiles coming back, and you could see some of the exiles are actually from the original Matrix Reloaded, but the scene is messy, it doesn't work, and unfortunately, I just didn't like it. So, I'm going to stop dancing around spoilers and give it a final verdict. It gets some things right. Towards the end, they introduce new Matrix ideas. I can't stand their bullet time in this. I can't believe I almost forgot that. Like, bullet time was revolutionary when it came out. This bullet time is pathetic. It's, that frame-by-frame choppy movement. They do slow movement for everybody else, but one of the characters moves so damn fast. I just hate it when they do that. So bullet time is worse. The kung fu is worse. The gunfire and gun action is worse. I did like the idea they redo the helicopter kind of scene a little bit. I did like that. And then they introduced this new idea of the swarm. Hey Joe, want zombies in Matrix? No, I don't want zombies in Matrix. So they tried to do this swarm idea, which you knew I was going to hate it. I didn't like it. I thought it could have been done better. Actually, in the third act, the final act, the swarm starts to work a little bit better when there's this huge chase sequences and there's several explosions from cars. That was kind of cool. There are moments in the film where it still looks good, and there's still little cool moments here and there, but there's so few and far between. Unfortunately, it's not enough to justify the rest of the film. Now, what I want them to stop. Please stop. But I do think that like another film might actually take it in a direction that would be more interesting than what this film did. I just don't know how well it will do and how people will react to it. I'll have to see when I get back internet. But I wanted to like it so bad. They do kind of Terminator-ize. They show a little bit of the machines and war and that, but it's like literally 5 seconds, and it's like, man, I want to see more than that. If they do a Matrix 5 or 6, that could be cool, but yeah. Anyways, I'm dragging this on. So I think it's an average film. I think all the three Matrixes that came before are more fascinating, with more compelling performances, especially from Keanu Reeves and Hugo Weaving and Trinity from the original. It's just like, I don't care. I don't care about the new team. I don't care. Oh, I gotta talk about Jada Pinkett Smith's terrible performance. They have some of the worst old person makeup on her, and she is just a drag in this whole film. I hated all of her scenes. Just awful acting. Doesn't make much sense, and I hated it. And this world, I hate kind of what they're doing with it. But maybe in the future, by the end, something happens, I go, you know what, that's cool. I don't have a problem with that. Cool. But I just wish it was executed better. So, sorry. It is an average film, but I think because they had this opportunity to learn from the previous ones and all this extra time and really do something for it, I think it's a 4 out of 10 and slightly below average, because it's wasting people's talents is what happened here mostly. So that's my non-spoiler review for The Matrix Resurrections, or whatever they're calling it. And thank you for sticking with me, and this is so cool. Snow for a Texan is amazing. I love Colorado. It's fucking great. Anyways, so let me do a little quick spoiler section if I can remember all of the ridiculous moments, okay? So join me on that. Okay, welcome. Warning, I don't have my equipment here, so I can't give you the little intro. Here is the spoiler section. So essentially, this film is about bringing Trinity up to Neo's power level. Neo has forgotten literally everything, and this is, it pains me so much, because it's like, he goes through most of the film as a bumbling, sort of following everybody else kind of thing, and just taking orders and not taking charge. It's like a completely different Neo or something. And really, they do it. Neo is only concerned about Trinity, and that makes sense. So he notices that he's been resurrected. The machines have literally rebuilt him and saved his life and put him in this new Matrix. And so this has implications. What happened to fucking Sati? Somebody explain to me, where is Sati's Matrix? I thought she was supposed to take over and reboot it and do all this other stuff. And she's in this film, and she helps out. And the unique thing in the film, the thing that I did like, is the machines have a war. And they show between the old guard and the new guard, where the machines are, you know, those were ideas that were being played with in the later Matrix films, that the robots can be good too and want to cooperate with humans. And that's actually in this film. And that's the part I like. So the operators in the ship actually have robots. So robots save Neo and run from other robots and rescue him. But Neo only cares about saving Trinity. And he goes back into the Matrix, and she's got a husband now. She's got kids, and he feels fucking like a loser because, you know, is that... But he asks her, and it's her choice, and the film's all about, you know, false choice. And they make fun of that from previous Matrixes, right? Where it's like the red pill and the blue pill. There really wasn't a choice. You're just going to, you know, go with the cool thing and what's inevitable. And they kind of do that here, but they give her a choice, Trinity, and they give her a real choice. Like, do you want to take the red pill and join in this kind of, you know, bleak future, or just stay comfy in this matrix where you have a family and kids, and it's stupid because you know what she's gonna pick. It's just so inevitable. And so eventually Trinity's like, yeah, no, she wakes up and then she realizes her love for Neo, and then they're together, and Neo and Trinity are running from all the swarm of agents, and all the agents are much worse in this film. They have a fake Mr. Smith who is a completely different actor because they couldn't get Hugo Weaving back. He probably mercifully made the smart decision to not come back. And same thing with Lawrence Fishburne. That's why he looks different. That's why he's this the Candyman actor. And what's cool though is he's got a little bit of Mr. Smith because it's all code and it's code tied together. So he's actually an AI, and they have this cool thing where you could have an AI in the real world with these little metallic beads, and that I like. Those are some creative ideas. Like I said, the film does add some creative ideas, but it just doesn't come together as a whole. I think the writing itself was far worse, and that's why it doesn't, you know, it doesn't work as well as it could have. Anyways, so I said I didn't like those characters, but Sati does come into the story where she helps these machines want to help and cooperate with humanity, so they work to shut down this matrix. So I guess, and you have to correct me, as I guess there was the machine war, and then Sati's side loses, and then the suits, is what they're called in this film, win, and they create this analyst character who is like the Neil Patrick Harris, who keeps Neo under and manipulated, because Neo and Trinity are now powering this new matrix, you know, and being told that you could be in a matrix, and then denying that reality actually boosts the power that they get from humans. And so as long as humans are like kind of fighting against themselves and just trapped in their own social media worlds and stuff, you know what they're trying to do. Anyways, so they give her the power of flight in the final moments. They jump off a building together. They're about to die because Neo still can't figure out how to fly. And then she figures out how to fly first, and she saves him. And now they are equals because Neo is shown that he can fly later. But, you know, they had to basically sideline Neo this whole film to say, hey, Trinity's fucking cool too. And you know what? I don't have a problem with Trinity having the powers of Neo and being just as powerful as Neo, because you know what? It was their love and their connection that kind of succeeded in the first film. So I'm fine with that, but it's just you wasted a lot of time, and I think that the focuses were in the wrong areas, and the cinematography sucked, and the action wasn't as good, and there was a different way to do it without all the cringe factor in there. So yeah, anyways, what else? God, there's a lot. And then, God, I hated Jada Pinkett Smith's character. I forget what her name was. I hated her character in the original. I hated her character here. She's mad. She's got this new, I like the name of the city. It's Io instead of Zion, and that's because you take the Z and the N off, and it's like never ending and a new beginning, or there's no big, I don't know. And then IO is also ones and zeros. There's lots of cool little things that I read on it, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, that's cool. But in her city, she just wants to fucking make strawberries and shit and pretend that everything is fine, and doesn't want to conflict with the machines, and she hates the fact that Neo's back, because Neo is obviously going to go conflict, create a conflict and put her city at risk. And that's the main purpose of the new red pills. And the Bugs character, she's just so headstrong, and she's like, you know, this rebellious captain, and everybody reveres Neo and loves Neo, but yet they'll still imprison him and listen to their ratty old 90-year-old captain over Neo and stuff, all this other shit. Anyways, but eventually they do break him out and help him with getting Trinity out. And so that was cool. I liked it when the robots cooperated with them. They had some Matrix robots helping them out. And see, it's like, I like it on paper if it was executed a little better. I don't know why they had to do this video game. Like, I guess they could have probably done the movie, like it was a movie created by WB, but no, they needed the code. And that's right, because Neo creates his own code, and it was the code. He codes Morpheus and he codes Agent Smith. Anyways, Agent Smith storyline is fucking dropped. Did anybody notice that? Some people think that, oh, the swarm at the end is controlled by Smith. Agent Smith is no. I think that's the Analyst's swarm, and Agent Smith just kind of disappears in the film. So it's like a plot point that's just fucking dropped and never spoken of again. So that kind of sucked because, you know, he does help him. He does cooperate, but I mean, they've done that before, kind of, because Smith is his own thing and he goes against the suits. And I did like the cleverness of the idea of the film, but like I said, probably not well executed. Maybe she needs her, you know, sibling to help her out, get the, you know, I don't know. It just lacked a lot of the things. It felt almost at times like cosplay and a B film or just a made-for-TV Matrix. So yeah, we'll see how well it does, how people react to it. I wanted to like it more than I ended up, but I could see some people liking it. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. Do they get another one? I don't know. But it's like RLM said, you live long enough to see all your favorite franchises die or done worse. And so now that's Ghostbusters and Matrix and Star Wars. But you know what? At least Star Wars has a little bit of good because Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. But there's nothing like that here. Maybe the reaction from this, they can look at the reaction from this and hire a better action choreographer and, you know, bring Neo and Trinity moving forward. Now that they're at equal power, we get something cool and a war between the machines. And an answer to the question, if the machines are so powerful, why don't they, and they have like nanobots in the sky that blocked out the sun, that's why they need humans to power themselves. Why not figure out something to dissipate that in the atmosphere and bring the sun back? And that's what I thought Sati was going to do, you know, figure all of that out. And, you know, then humanity and robots can live together on Earth with the sun in real life instead of in these Matrix things. I don't know. Tell me what you thought. You know, and if Sati's forces lost, why is she in this new, even more sinister and evil Matrix? This, you know, 6th version or 7th version. I forget what version of Matrix we're on. And I'm sure there's tons of little things I missed. It might be worth watching again to see. And like I said, I'm doing this vlog on the fly. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe we could do another extended discussion video on it or something if I missed anything. But I'm really enjoying myself out here in Colorado. So I'm going to get back to this and run around and try. There's a hot springs over here, so I'm going to go check that out. And I'll upload this as soon as I get back into town. Okay? Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you on the next Angry Joe show. Bye, guys.